There we go. Like we say in GTA, D word, damn. There we go again. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've been here. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting the flu every time I go here, but that's not the point. Yeah, tough stretch, I would say. No, I don't know. I was feeling like lack of motivation to get into things, to do things. So I was like, this one generally or used to work fine for me. So let me just put the camera on and then I'll be working. But working on few stuff. I have like few not mandatory stuff to do, but I have time. It's not that I'm like behind schedule or anything. But yeah, I wanted to do that because I felt like I lost this kind of like power of doing things. So you guys helped me last time, so we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. So what I'm doing, I'll just share you. I don't think I'm allowed to show you, but the idea is not to show you. I can just leave you with silence with the music. But what I'm actually doing before I dive into that is this practical skills module from the CFA level 3 requirement, where I have to pick one. And you know me, I'm not picking the easiest one. I picked portfolio development and construction. If you do access here, you should normally link to the let's say subscriber page or space. Yep, here. So this is basically what I'm doing, and as a module, it's very interesting actually. I'm not gonna lie. So you have this completion of completing an investment policy statement. That's one thing. You got to do data analysis. So I did those two, and my goal today is rather to. Oh, I think I'm already done with this one. Yeah, my goal today is to finish this unit 3, which is called steps 3, portfolio optimizer and strategic allocation, and then I will do the others later. But yeah, I plan to finish this one. Hopefully it will take 1 hour or less. Yeah, it will take 1 hour or less. I try to really do it, so sometimes it takes more time, but yeah, it takes me 1 hour and less, and then I can move to other stuff like for work and stuff. Okay. I think this one is interesting, and then sensitivity analysis and tactical allocation performance, that will be something else. So you know the drill, cutting the camera or the screen sharing things, and then we start putting the work. I hope you're working on yourself as well, or working on some stuff, or just if you need some music, here it is. And yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure that I have the camera ready here. Okay, so you need to restart with this one. Okay.
Basic cost minimizing operations. Let's now look at worksheet Solver Minimize Cost. Let's use the example that a company must buy laptops for its 123 new employees. The laptops can be purchased in bundles, bulk quantities, or a discount. We want to determine how to minimize the cost to the firm while buying enough laptops for all of the new employees. Here are the purchasing options. We must decide how to optimize the purchase. We start by adding a column as a placeholder for the number of each bundle to buy. We can plug in any values. We've chosen to start with 11 bundles of 8 laptops, 2 bundles of 3 laptops, and 5 bundles of 6 laptops. Now we must add a column to determine how many individual laptops the purchase would sum to. We must be careful to use formulas here, multiplying the amount of laptops in a given bundle by the quantity of bundles purchased, and then summing that up. Next, we must calculate the cost by multiplying the quantity of bundles by the price per bundle, and then calculating a total. We can change the values in column C, quantity of bundles, at any time, and this will affect the cost. By plugging in different values, we might get lucky and find the minimum cost. However, we might end up settling for a suboptimal solution. The goal in this optimization problem is to minimize cost in cell E6 by changing the quantity of laptop bundles in cells C3 through C5. However, we also need to set constraints. In this problem, the constraint is that we buy enough laptops for the 123 employees. We might not be able to reach exactly 123 laptops given the structure of bundles. However, we can set a constraint that says the total quantity of laptops in cell D6 must be greater than or equal to 123. Since we are minimizing the costs, this will get us as close to 123 as possible without coming up short. To run Solver, select Data, then Solver. We set the objective as cell B6 to a min, and reach the objective by changing variable cells C3 through C5. If we run Solver without adding constraints, the result result would be a cost of zero with no laptops purchased. In subject to the constraints, we need to press add and add a constraint where the total quantity of laptops is D6 greater than equal. So 123. Notice that there is a checkbox with an additional constraint that reads, make unconstrained variables non-negative. This is referring to the cells that we plan to change. In this case, it is the quantity of bundles. If we want to allow negative values here, we will uncheck the box, relaxing the non-negativity constraints. Of course, in this case, we should keep the box checked. Notice that there is some guidance as to which solving methods we might use. We can select a solving method, in this case, any method will do. We will choose simplex LP since this is a linear problem. When we press solve, the optimizer runs and should find a solution. We are then prompted to decide whether to keep the solution or revert back to the original data. Here, we will keep the solution by checking the Keep Solver Solution option. Notice that there are comments regarding the solving method. Note we can also output reports, which can help us see how the optimizer arrived at the solution. Solver has provided an optimal result. However, notice that the quantity of bundles is not an integer. This is of course a problem, in that we cannot purchase a fractional amount, 15.375, of the bundle of 8 laptops. In order to find an optimal solution that results in whole numbers to the quantity of bundles, we must add another constraint that sets cells C3 through C5 to integers. The new solver parameters look like this. The feasible optimal solution is now calculated. $84,749.84 is the lowest possible cost, given the bundle pricing options that results in the purchase. This feasible optimal solution. In order to find an optimal solution that results in whole numbers to the quantity of bundles, we must add another constraint that sets cells C3 through C5 to integers. The new solver parameters look like this. The feasible optimal solution is now calculated. 84,000.
Data solver.
Puzzle 749. The new solver parameters look like this.
C3,
The feasible optimal solution is now calculated $84,745.84 is the lowest possible cost, given the bundle pricing options that results in a purchase of 123 laptops. This works out to purchasing 15 bundles of 8 laptops and 1 bundle of 3 laptops. The relationship between the MVO and the efficient frontier. The efficient frontier depicts efficient portfolios across risk-return space. The portfolios on the efficient frontier represent portfolios with the highest expected return that can be achieved for a given level of risk. Investors can use the efficient frontier to choose the optimal portfolio that maximizes return at their specific level of risk tolerance. If we were to plot all conceivable portfolios, it may look like this. However, the efficient frontier consists of the portfolios that are on the upper boundary, depicted on the line shown on the graph. These are the portfolios that provide the highest return for a given level of risk. They are efficient. Given all of these efficient portfolios to choose from, how does an investor decide which to invest in? The investor's optimal portfolio depends upon the investor's level of risk tolerance. If they want to take on a lot of risk, they may choose a portfolio on the efficient frontier that provides more return at a greater level of risk, depicted further to the right in the graph. If the investor is more conservative, they might select a portfolio on the efficient frontier that is further to the left, providing lower return at a lower level of risk. Indifference curves. Typically, in economics, indifference curves are used to represent an individual's preferences for combinations of two goods. In the context of investment, where the two goods are return and risk, the orientation of the indifference curves can differ from the typical consumption goods scenario, where the indifference curves slope upward to the right, northeast, because obtaining more of either good or both would increase utility. In the case of a choice between return and risk, utility is increasing as we increase return and reduce risk. Return is seen as a good, something we want more of, while risk is seen as a bad. All else being equal, investors prefer less risk to more risk. The highest utility is found at the point where we have the highest return with the least risk. This point is where the investor is most satisfied, given their risk tolerance. Indifference curves appear as concave lines, as shown in this graph, with those highest on the upper left of the graph, providing the investor with more utility. Since the efficient frontier represents all efficient portfolios, and the indifference curve represents the investor's utility function, the point of tangency between an investor's indifference curve and the efficient frontier represents the optimal portfolio for that investor. Why is this the case? The efficient frontier represents the possible efficient portfolio. An investor wants to be on the highest indifference curve possible. This is the IC tangential to the efficient frontier. ICs above this cannot be satisfied by possible portfolios. ICs below this, whilst capable of being satisfied by possible portfolios, are lower than the tangential IC and so often less efficient. As shown in this graph, we can also see that all types of investors have found an optimal portfolio. Those investors who are more conservative would have indifference curves that fall to the left. Their optimal portfolio is one which corresponds to a portfolio with lower risk and lower returns. Investors who are more aggressive would have indifference curves that fall further to the right. Their optimal portfolio is one which corresponds to a portfolio with higher risk and higher return. Those with average risk tolerance fall in the middle.
Difference curve. There's our choice that generate. Which tree self input rate to with a correlation of AP instead of deviation. Someone will select a portfolio with suitable lower left of Evernotion is risk areas. Lower left. The vessel will select a portfolio on the upper right. Should have flexibility satisfaction. variance du coup, ça va être matrice multiplication. De toute façon, on veut maximiser le return. By changing this guy. Icon constraint. Non, pardon, c'est plutôt lui. Égal 1. Ok, le égal à 1. Alors encore, tac. Lui. Ah, ok. Attends. On va maximiser. Si tu veux. Ok, alors first one, on va dire cancel ça, solve. Tu vois, tu mets tout dans le truc le plus. Ça, tu as maximisé ton return. Ok, ça c'est bon. Non, ça. Ok, restore original value. Ok, donc on veut maximiser le return. Que la somme doit être égale à 1. Et puis, cell reference, this guy. Attends. solver.
Portfolio optimization constraints in solving. In this MVO min-vol worksheet, we begin by summing the weights in cell. They must total 100%. We can use the sum function or an auto sum by pressing the keyboard shortcut Alt plus equals. Since we weight each asset equally at approximately 16.67%, the sum is 100% as expected. Next, we must calculate the portfolio's expected return. To do this, let us calculate each asset's return contribution to the portfolio. In cell C14, we can calculate the weighted expected return for UST by taking the product of UST's expected return and its weight in the portfolio equals C10 times C13. We can copy this formula to the right using the keyboard shortcut. Select cells C14 through H14 and press Ctrl plus R. In cell I14, we need to sum the weighted expected returns to arrive at a portfolio's expected return of 8.08%, with the securities being weighed equally. Next, we must calculate the portfolio's risk. We begin by using the portfolio's variance via matrix multiplication. Recall that Excel's array functions, which are used for matrix algebra, work by pressing Control plus Shift plus Enter. When solving matrix algebra functions, in the formula bar, Excel adds curly brackets surrounding the formula to indicate that it is an array function. We must get the product of the variance covariance matrix of the weights, and then multiply this product by the vector of the weights transposed. Again, we will use mmult to multiply matrices and transpose to transpose a matrix. We start by organizing the arrays by naming them. There are a few best practices when naming arrays, such as it should be short, simple, consistent, descriptive, and most importantly, no special keyboard characters. We will name the ranges as follows. Variance for variance matrix, cells C3 through H8, var cove. Weights, cells C13 through H13, WTS. The formula in cell I15 is equals mmult, WTS, var cove, transpose, WTS. Since we normally express risk as volatility or standard deviation, we must take the square root of the variance and annualize it to obtain the portfolio's risk. To analyze the standard deviation, we must multiply by the square root of the number of periods in a year. In this case, we based our analysis on daily returns, and there are 252 trading days per year. Therefore, our formula in cell I16 is SQRT I15 times SQRT.
That's correct.
D252. So we can see that this portfolio of equally weighted assets will generate an expected return of 8.08%, a risk level of 20.4%. Let's copy this worksheet 4 times and rename them as follows. MVO-max RET, MVO-max R-Vol12, MVO-max R-Vol15, and MVO-max R-Vol8.
That's right.
Using Solver to find the optimal portfolio. Here we must open Solver by selecting Data and Solver. We need to set our objective as minimizing the volatility in cell I16. Next, we must decide how Solver will reach its goal. What cells should be changed? These are known as the variable cells. In this case, we want to allow Solver to change the weights of the assets in the portfolio. Before we can run Solver, we must add our constraints. Notice that the Make Unconstrained Variables Non-Negative box is checked. By keeping the box checked, this will force our unconstrained variables, the asset weight, to be positive. This fulfills the long-only portfolio constraint. Therefore, we only need to add one constraint. The sum of the weights is equal to 1. We do this by pressing Add next to subject to the constraints and setting cell I13 equal to 1. Now we can select a solving method and press Solve. We will leave it set to the default solving method, GRT nonlinear. The optimal solution that gives us a portfolio with minimal volatility sets the weights to these values. While we may have found a solution that results in slightly different weights, the portfolio's expected return and volatility should match the results here. The minimum volatility is 5.9%, and this results in an expected return of 6.29%. In this case, UST makes up 76% of the portfolio. US large cap makes up 17% of the portfolio. And US IG or bond makes up 7% of the portfolio. Other three assets are not included in the portfolio.
Data solver. Max return sum equal non-linear solve.
Solve a portfolio optimization problem. Notice that within the name manager, found in the formulas tab on the ribbon, we have the same names available across each of the MVO sheets, such that the scope of each of the name is with respect to the given worksheet, except for the original, which related to the entire workbook. The implication of this being, if we select var code from the returns worksheet, we will be taken to the MVO in vol worksheet. First, let's find an optimal portfolio where we maximize return with no constraints, other than there being no leverage. The weights must equal to 100%, and the restrictions set to all only positions. There can be no negative weights. Let's switch worksheets to MVO max RET. We run solver again, but this time with a different objective. Here, set the objective to maximizing cell I-14, the portfolio's expected return. Note that we need to select the range of weights rather than typing in the name WTS, since the named range WTS has different scopes, and therefore may be referring to a different range of weights from a different worksheet. Solving again using the GRG nonlinear solving method, the results are quite different from the previous low-risk portfolio. Maximizing return for given volatility. Next, let's try incorporating risk tolerance. Here, our objective is to maximize the portfolio's expected return for a given level of volatility. We can execute this in Solver by adding an additional constraint related to the portfolio's volatility. Let's assume that we want a standard deviation of 12%. Let's switch to the copied worksheets containing portfolio metrics, named MVO-MaxRVol12. We run Solver, setting the objective to maximizing cell I14 again. This time, adding an additional constraint. The portfolio's volatility in cell I16 must be equal to 12%. Solving returns the following results. While asset weights may differ slightly, we should find matching results regarding the portfolio's expected return, being 8.63%. This is the maximum expected return at a volatility level of 12% in a long-only portfolio with no leverage. Solving returns the following result.
This one.
Asset means linked constraint. Portfolio.
Oh my Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh my Jesus Christ. What the hell is that? Oh my Jesus Christ. Oh my Jesus Christ. So this. Oh my Jesus Christ. Oh my Jesus Christ. Solo.
The volatility in cell I16 must be equal to 12%. Solving returns the following results. While asset weights may differ slightly, we should find matching results regarding the portfolio's expected return, being 8.63%. This is the maximum expected return at a volatility level of 12% in a long-only portfolio with no leverage. Let's run Solver twice more on the two additional copied worksheets. First, we will run it with 15% volatility and medium risk tolerance as agreed to in our IPS in step 1. Then we will run Solver with a higher risk tolerance, setting volatility to 18%. Looking at one of the copied worksheets containing portfolio metrics, rename MVO-MaxR-Vol15. For an investor with medium risk tolerance, volatility of 15%, Solver should look like this. Results after solving should look like this. Again, while the asset weights may differ slightly, we should find matching results regarding the portfolio's expected return being a bit higher given the additional risk. The maximum expected return is 9.42% at a volatility level of 15% in a long-only portfolio with no leverage. Let's run Solver once more on a different copied worksheet, this time with a higher risk tolerance, volatility of 18%. Looking at the last copied worksheet, NVO-MaxR-Vol18, for an investor with high risk tolerance, volatility of 18%, Solver should look like this. Results after solving should look like this. Again, while asset weights may differ slightly, we should find matching results regarding the portfolio's expected return being even higher given the additional risk. The maximum expected return is 10.18% at a volatility level of 18% in a long-only portfolio with no leverage.
Je vais me focus cette fois, les XMD. Allez, vas-y.
Maximizing risk-adjusted return. To calculate the Sharpe ratio in a cell, we must first make an assumption about the risk-free rate in the future. Here, we will assume that it is 3%. Now, we need to add this risk-free rate to each of the 5 MBO worksheets. We can add it to the one worksheet and then copy each of the other sheets in the same cells. Or we can group the worksheets and add it just once. To group the worksheets, select the tabs using the Shift key and the mouse to select them all. When worksheets are grouped, their tabs appear highlighted in white. It is important later to remember to ungroup the sheets. If they are still grouped, any actions performed on one worksheet will be replicated on the others. With the worksheets grouped, we can add a heading in cell A17 and add the 3% risk-free rate to cell I17, formatting it as a percentage with 2 decimals. Next, let's add a heading in cell H18 and calculate the Sharpe ratio in cell I18. The formula in cell I18 is equals I14 minus I17 divided by I16. Be careful to ungroup the worksheets by selecting one of the other worksheets individually. Toggling through each of the MVO worksheets displays that the Sharpe ratio has been calculated for each of the 5 portfolios. Now, let's make 2 additional copies of our MVO worksheet so that we can now work to optimize 2 additional portfolios based on the Sharpe ratio. Name these worksheets MVO-Max Sharpe and MVO-Max Sharpe LS. Looking now at the MVO-Max Sharpe worksheet, let's run Solver to maximize the risk-adjusted return. Here are the results after solving. While the asset rates may differ slightly, the Sharpe ratio should match this optimal result. We can see that an optimal portfolio, which maximizes risk-adjusted return, has an expected return of 6.72% and a volatility of 6.4%. Looking now at the MVL-Max Sharp LS worksheet, let's run Solver to maximize the risk-adjusted return. Here are the results after solving. While again, the asset weights may differ slightly, the Sharpe ratio should match this optimal result. We can see that by shorting the assets, we have arrived at a significantly higher risk-adjusted return. A Sharpe ratio of 0.8 compared to 0.5 under a long-short portfolio. Our long-short portfolio's expected return is 9.22%, and the volatility is 7.7%.
Bless me. Jesus, Que je suis bête. Forte corrélation, corrélation négative. So, portfolio. Minimize risk. Data. Solve. Minimize portfolio risk. Minimize merchandising. Sorry. Merchandising. Add. Tag. So Maximum extract. Sulfur. Cut is it parfait. By Chanty. Change. Maximize Okay. Over this server. What's the expect maximum speed written? Says it. Over this time frame, when maximum is speed written at 12, which 80 Celsius. Set we advanced here. Over this time from maximum is written at 12 is with list. Is greater than 0 list. The corporate bonds. at 15, which it is obvious. When 15, which one is obvious? Yeah. Prince. Over this time, we want to maximize expected return on it. Which is the obvious time to show with the low def without US. Appel domestic. Def election. TM. Over this time frame, when my experience is not what is about frequency return? Distance. Apply. Okay, 2 hours. I really thought it would only take 1 hour, but actually, it took me 2 hours though. Anyway, we finish it. So sharing that. So the goal was to finish this guy. So we're done with this guy, and now we will do the next step 4, which is forward-looking capital market expectation. So before we're using like the historical value, now you want forward-looking. So yeah, bips perips. That was really cool. I really dive into that. So I'll try to have a break and then probably do something else later. But choose Astramingo, baby.